Welcome to the Bushido Gang. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Attack on Samurott, bringing you all part 2 of my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, Teal Mass DLC breakdown. So I'll be breaking down all the new moves that were reintroduced into Scarlet and Violet through the Teal Mass DLC. So we got a lot of old moves back, like knockoff Toxic and Scald, and also the Isle of Armor moves, such as Grassy Glide, what else? Grassy Glide and like Poltergeist, Scale Shot, Flick Turn. All those moves came back, and on some other additions as well. That I will also mention as well. But yeah, before we get started with this, oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the last part. But there were a bunch of other things that came back for this DLC, such as the Gen 4 legendaries. So Manaphy came back, Jirachi came back for Gen 3, but it was already in Gen 4 through BDSP, so it came back into Scarlet and Violet, and also Darkrai came back as well, which was also through. Technically, that was also through through Legends Arceus, but also through BDSP. If I'm doing the thing right. But yeah, I got that back. Or it's back now. And also the Gen 4 starters came back as well. So they came back ahead of schedule. So way before DLC 2, which is not bad. No one's complaining about that. So it's good. It's all good. Anyways, before we get started with this part 2 of this breakdown, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my Reddit. And join my Discord, the Bushido Gang. If you want to keep up with me, all those links will be down in the description. So without further ado, let's dive into part 2. So part 2, we're gonna start off with Gen 4. But before I do that, I do want to mention some other things I missed in part 1. So like some smaller ones that should have been mentioned. In part 1, I actually did get a comment from a viewer that mentioned about Golduck getting Vacuum Wave. That's pretty cool, I guess. It's nothing like crazy, but it's nice. And that was pretty much it. The other one was just more like him just correcting me about Gardevoir having Orisphere back in having Orisphere here in not Gen 3, my bad. In Scarlet and Violet and whatnot. Which I mean, yeah, it did, but I think it did get it in PLA, but it doesn't really matter. And I mean, yeah, it didn't really matter like that. But yeah, besides that, I don't think anything else really from Gen 3. Oh, and also Dusclops, it got Poltergeist back. I don't know why this wasn't mentioned here, but it got Poltergeist back, which means that its evolution Dusknoir gets it back as well. And again, I will be talking about that since we're going to be talking about Gen 4 anyway. So, to kick off Gen 4, we got the starters. So Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon came back into the Teal Mass into the Teal Mass DLC. And let me just say that I am very happy. I was very happy when everything was dropping, like when we got all the information dropped and everything like that. I was very happy to see Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon get like some nice buffs. They're not like Infernape got the least amount of buffs, but Torterra and Empoleon really ate. So, also I do have on the side, like the other learn list for I have on the side I have like the list of mons that also like have pretty much have like the whole move sets and everything right here. And also it just shows all the mons as well. All the mons that are coming back anyway, or that are already back. So yeah. Again, nothing really crazy. Again, talking about like Ments and all them. Ments really didn't get anything crazy, but yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Jirachi didn't get anything back either. Pretty much has all the same stuff. Didn't get anything new that really stood out either. So yeah. All right. So Turtwig. No, not Turtwig. My bad. I mean, it is there, but as you can see, the Torterra line got Shell Smash. And that's from an egg move, so I must have got it from maybe like, I don't know what it could have gotten it from, but it got Shell Smash. Let's talk about that real quick, and all the other things. Torterra gets Grassy Glide, High Horsepower. It kept Headlong Rush from Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it also got Shell Smash. So this is a big deal. It's a big deal because now Torterra doesn't have to rely on Sword Dance plus Rock Polish anymore. That was something that it had to use back in when it first debuted in Gen 4, where it would run, setup with that. But the setup, but I mean, I feel like that set only worked with screens up, and it's a little bit harder to really get going. And also, like, um setting up a Sword Dance in Gen 4 when everything is just so aggressive, it's a little difficult to really get that going as well. So like you really have to like put in effort to support Torterra, and nobody gonna really be doing that. So so yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool it got Shell Smash. Why is it cool? Because now this Mon has a one turn setup option, and that means that Mon can go stupid. That Mon can go stupid. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, this is Gen 3. Let's go to current gen. But yeah, Torterra. I'll put them all here actually. I'll put Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon all have new things. So again, talking about Torterra first. Shell Smash is great, like I mentioned already. Now it has that one turn move that it can just set up right away. And what's cool about Torterra is that when you maximize its attack, when you go adamant with it, 31 IV, I don't know why it keeps doing that. 31 IVs. When you max out its attack and speed, its base speed goes up to 211, which means that after a Shell Smash, it would go up to 4. It would go up to 4. Wait, am I right? No, 422. It would go up to no. Yeah, it would go up to 422, which just outspeeds Dragapult by 1 point. Well, if you go Jolly with it, if you go Jolly with Torterra, Jolly Torterra at +2 goes up to I believe I can definitely count. It goes up to 464. So it goes up to 464, which is pretty damn fast. So that's gonna outspeed most Scarfers. It's at least like base 80 Scarfers, and I believe even like base 80. Yeah, it outspeeds the base 80 Scarfers. So that's something to note. That's something notable to mention. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm pretty sure this is like two. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. I mean, I'm right. It's 422. So it goes 422 at +2. And Torterra goes 464 at +2 with Jolly Nature. But yeah, still, this thing hitting that speed tier and also being able to just like be +2 with its base 109 attack, or 109 attack, and even 109 or even 75 special attack, which means you can actually make it mix as well. So when it comes to Torterra's physical movesets for grass coverage, pretty much it has to rely on Seed Bomb and Wood Hammer. But if you're running it with Shell Smash, there's other options you can do now. So you could run like Bullet Seed if you really want to with loaded dice. If you have screens up with it, you could also run what else could you run? You could also run you can run Giga Drain on a mix set. So you can do something like this. So you can run Shell Smash, Giga Drain to get your recovery back. Earthquake / Headlong Rush, and then like something to hit Zapdos. So you could go Rock Blast with that, or you can run like Terra Ice if you really want to, and go like pretty much run like a makeshift Abomasnow in a sense. But yeah, there's a lot of different options that Torterra has now, and but Shell Smash now. So I think that's really cool. Defensively, it did get some other things as well. It got Iron Defense. It already had Iron Defense since like the beginning, but now it has Body Press. So you can run a defensive set with Body Press, Iron Defense, Stealth Rock, and Leech Seed if you really want to, or Synthesis if you want the recovery. Because I mean, Grass Ground coverage is still like a pretty good defensive typing. It's still a pretty good defensive typing. Obviously, being like four times weak to Ice, but you can circumvent that by going with a different Terra. But still, this can be ran defensively too. Now. Not like it wasn't before, but now it has more incentive too. So that's definitely really, really sick for Torterra. If you want, you could. I mean, it's a little weird to do it right, but you could run like. I guess maybe you could go Band in Terrain with Grassy Glide, but I don't know if you really want to do that. But anyways, this is a big win for Torterra. Like everyone's been begging for Torterra to get Shell Smash ever since like. I really want to say ever since Torkoal got Shell Smash, which I think was back in Gen 6. Either Gen 6 or no, it wasn't Gen 5. Definitely was Gen 5. Could have been Gen 5 though. Let me check real quick. I don't think it got it in Gen 5. Um but pretty much everyone was begging for this mon to get, or not. Oh, it did get it in Gen 5. Huh. I had no idea actually. Okay. Well, since Gen 5, people have been begging for like turtle type Pokemon to get Shell Smash since Torkoal got it and it was the first one to get it. So now, now every turtle has it. So, Turtonator, what's it called? Dreadnought, which got it last gen, literally. Again, Torkoal since the beginning, and now, and also Barbarical randomly, and also Cloyster, and now, and then after Gen 8, Blastoise getting it. So now Torterra has it, and that is a big win for Torterra. We love to see that. Torterra is one of my favorite of the Gen 4 starters. I probably say it's like I don't know if I'd say it's second or third. It's probably honestly, I have fond memories of Torterra. Like again, being like 8 years old, like like 8 years old back in 2006, 2000. Nope, my bad. 2007, playing on my old beat up DS. And like it was such a bad DS, man. Like it was like the old one, like the really old DS that I used to have growing up. And like the screen was like yellow. So it was like barely connected. The wiring for it was also like kind of busted too. But I still managed to work that game. I still managed to play it and I still had fun with it. Even though the DS was busted, I got it from my cousin back from New York. Again, like when I was a kid. Then, but he gave it away to me. He gave me what's it called? He gave me like Mario Kart on it too, back then. So just giving it away and whatnot. But yeah, my bad. Sorry, going down memory lane. But yeah, Torterra was my first starter. Then and I'm happy to see Torterra get some kind of come up. So awesome, very awesome for Torterra. Anyways, next we have Infernape. Infernape got Raging Fury, which it got from, Legends Arceus, Drain Punch, Aura Sphere, Switcheroo, and Knockoff. Oh yeah, one more thing I want to mention about Torterra before I move on to Infernape. I do want to mention that this one, depending on where the meta goes, I feel like it might be a solid Arumon actually. I could see it. I could definitely see it be RU. At worst, NU, but I think it might get banned from NU. I think it might get banned from NU because like this shit right here. Oh no. Like how many Shell Smashers in NU have actually stayed NU? Let's think about that for a minute. None. All right, so there we go. So I don't think that mon's staying in NU. But then again, it is slow. It is pretty slow. It could stay, but again, I'm not 100% sure on it. But I do think it's going to be a great lower tier mon, and I think it will see some usage, and some usage play in the higher tiers as well. Maybe the highest in UU, but right now in OU, people are just playing around with just having the new toy syndrome right now. So the one downside to Torterra with this set is that it really doesn't have enough ways to cover for some of its checks, like Steel. I mean, Steel and Flying. I'm talking Corviknight. This guy right here, this annoying shit. You need to run something to hit that. Like, I don't know what you'd have to run on it to cover for it, but like it needs something to cover for it. Ice Superpower could work, but it doesn't typically drop to +2. So you'd have to run like maybe a Terra with it, so maybe Terra Electric. That might be your way to get through it, and also cover for Zapdos at the same time. I'm just throwing out ideas, by the way. I have no idea, but have fun. All right, Infernape. So Infernape got Raging Fury, Drain Punch, Aura Sphere, Switcheroo, and Knockoff. This one right here, you see, Infernape has a very interesting history, right? Back in the glory days of Gen 4, this mon was like the mixed attacker. It was the new Blaziken, if you will, in that sense, because it was faster, it had priority, and it had like just a bunch of other setup options that stood out over Blaziken. So this one, so Infernape, nowadays, or Infernape, pretty much was like top dog in Gen 4 in that sense. But then people started to discover that, the Mon is very frail. Infernape is incredibly frail. Like that seven, like these stats, man. That defense and that speed up, that Mon is not living 2 hits. It's living one at most, one at most. But and I'm talking like a neutral hit, by the way, not a resisted hit. Resisted obviously it could take something. It could take more than 1 hit, at least resisted. But yeah, neutrally, nah, this Mon's taking at least 1 hit neutrally. But anyways, Infernape, right? So Infernape got Infernape has always been a very versatile Mon. So it's always had like a lot of different unique things it can do. Again, running like special sets, mixed sets, fully offensive sets or fully physical offensive sets, fully special offensive sets, Scarf, Band, Sash, Hazard Stack, or Hazard Lead. This Mon has been doing everything. But obviously as times went on with Infernape, it just kind of started losing its niche, and it just became more or less like not dead weight, definitely not dead weight, but it just got the power creep just was too much for it, and it ended up falling out of favor in OU. Now that it's back, it's not saying OU, but I think it'll be a really fun UU Mon. The lowest I see it going is maybe RU, but I don't think it's gonna be RU. I don't think I'd see it be RU, but I definitely see UU at most. But yeah, the utility options it got in Raging Fury doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it's nice, but like Blitz is better. This is just Outrage. Like I don't think you want to use Outrage on this, or I don't think you want to use like a Fire type Outrage. It doesn't seem worth it. It doesn't seem worth it. You have Blitz, which is better, and you don't have to worry about confusion. So there's that. But also, yeah, it's just not that worth it. Drain Punch, that could be actually now it can actually take advantage of recovery with Iron Fist and can use Drain Punch. So that's not bad. I feel like this is a Mon that I feel like it should have always had Drain Punch back in Gen 4. Don't know why they never let it keep it, but yeah, now it has Drain Punch after like 5 generations. So that's cool. And recovery's always nice. I mean, it already has recovery and slack off, but slack off is super niche. Like I'm talking like hella niche. Like in Gen 4, when you ran, or in Gen 4, you could run Infernape with recovery on a mix set. Just to at least give it a little bit more longevity in the later half of the game. But obviously with the Gen 4 being a more offensive meta and whatnot, slack off isn't always going to come through like that. But again, like I said, that's what Infernape did, or that's what Infernape had in its toolkit. But yeah, the big one though, Orisphere is cool. Now it doesn't have to rely on Focus Blast anymore. It's nothing crazy, but like it's a little bit more consistent than Focus Blast, so that's still a win for it. Snake can run like Orisphere, Fire Move, and like whatever you want. I guess maybe a Terra, like maybe Terra Fairy or like Terra Electric or whatever you want really. But yeah, Switcheroo is an interesting one. I don't think it's gonna be that crazy, but now Infernape has a way of getting momentum with Trick in a sense. So now it can just switch its item or swap its item with something else and have them locked in. So again, you could like switch lock a Choice Scarf or a Choice Scarf on something, or a Choice Band on something. So it's not bad actually. I think Infernape appreciates something like that. So now it's not always going to be dead weight with a Scarf set or a Band set. It'll at least have something else it can still do on said set. But yeah, and then the new buff it got is Knockoff. So Knockoff is good utility, like I've mentioned several times now. Great utility, get momentum with it, and you just keep the pressure going. So I think Infernape is going to appreciate that, but I don't think it's going to be anything too significant. But it's nice. Actually, I think this is the first time it's actually gotten like dark stab it can actually use. So that's not bad. That means besides going for Blitz, it can actually hit its checks now. So it can hit Psychic types, and it can also cover for ground types. I mean, it already did with Grass Knot, but now it can do it like a little bit better. and also cover for opposing ghosts as well. So doesn't have to go for blitz to weaken itself even more, or be locked into CC, or just do like negligible damage with U-turn. So knock is not bad. I think it will appreciate it. But again, I don't think it's going to be anything too significant. But we'll see what Infernape does with it. Overall, good nerf. Good. I'm gonna say good nerf. Good buff. Good buff. Empo. Oh shit, this is the big one. Empo got hella stuff. Let's talk about Empo real quick. Okay, so Empo. So what Game Freak did with Empo? Oh yeah, let me go back to the starters real quick. And just show like any move learner or like egg moves and such. Again, I don't think Infernape, or not Infernape, but Chimchar got anything through egg moves. Oh, it's only Switcheroo. Okay. And everything else it already had. And Infernape didn't get anything either. Besides learning Raging Fury by level up. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp like that. Taunt and Slack off it can learn through Reminder and whatnot. Yeah, I didn't get anything else. So we can move on now from Infernape. Or Empo. So Empo got a big buff. Empo, it lost Defiant, which is whatever. Defiant was a nice way you could run like not mix, but I guess if you wanted to, you could go SD with it. But a lot of the time, players, in like the lower tiers, again, in UU, where Empoleon really was staying for the last 5 generations, or actually, I guess 4 generations after Gen 5, or after Gen 4. But yeah, it's pretty much been UU since then. But pretty much since then, a lot of players have either opted to go just go with its standard torrent ability, since the chip damage is still really good, especially in torrent range, but also like Defiant just isn't that great because Empoleon's physical options aren't the best, really. Like, it pretty much relied on stuff like Waterfall and Earthquake. And I mean, yeah, it has Sword Stance and Agility, but like no one's running that, right? Like, Empoleon is meant to be a special defensive kind of wall to check things. So why would you run Defiant on a mon that doesn't have a whole lot of physical options? Well, they changed that and decided to make it competitive. Now, competitive is a great ability because now Empoleon can pretty much like stop defog. Also, if Empoleon gets like hit by defog, then obviously it gets a competitive boost and can do a shit ton of damage to something. But also to mention, Empoleon. But also to mention is that if a stats get dropped in general, then like a random Moonblast, or again defog randomly, or any of those things, Empoleon just appreciates that and can abuse its 111 special attack and just get a lot of damage off with said Surf or like Hydro Pump or something like that. It got Roost. That's the one that matters out of all of these. It got Roost from Legends Arceus. It was actually through an event, I believe, because Empoleon couldn't learn it naturally in game, unless I'm wrong. But yeah, it got Roost back, and that is something that people have been begging Empoleon to have since the very beginning. This is a very good utility option, very good way for this mon to get recovery and just be able to stick around a little bit longer in games, and that's what's gonna make this mon incredibly great. So this is amazing. Unfortunately, it didn't get defogged though, so it can't defog anymore at the moment. But again, Roost is a big win, very big win for Empoleon. It got flip turns. Now it has momentum, so that's amazing. So this mon can just keep getting momentum with flip turn and just be able to really recover up flip turn from momentum. So you get like a slow flip turn with this thing, and you just go from there. It got Vacuum Wave, which is okay. It's nothing impressive, but it's cool. It has priority now, or has more priority. It always relied on Jet, but like Jet was a very just a very odd move. I'm saying odd because really the only time you saw Jet was pretty much in Gen 4, where it would be ran on a Sash set. So you'd run Sash with it. Once you're down into your Sash, after you put Chip onto the opposing mon, you could use Jet to get a little bit of last ditch Chip, just so weaken the opponent enough for something else to come in the back and then just clean up afterwards. So that's what Empo did on Sash lead sets back in Gen 4. Um, and yeah, now Vacuum Wave is cool because now it can take advantage of its special attack and have priority in that. So it'll be decent for covering for opposing Dark types and Steel types, and also like Rock types as well, and all of them. So it definitely appreciates that. It got Haze back. I don't think it had Haze before, but I might be wrong. Let me check Empo real quick. I'm pretty sure it had Haze already. Let's go to, what generation is this? Let's go to like Gen 4. No, not Gen 4. Let's go to like Gen 5 actually, or Gen 7. Let me see. Empo, I think it always had Haze. No, really? Wait, for real? Oh, really? No, don't way. No, I think you've always had Haze. Oh, shit. Wait, for real? Oh, okay, this is new. This is brand new. Cool. Okay, great. Empo has Haze. Haze is good because now it has a way of removing stat boosts. So it can remove stat boosts, so like it can stop Calm Mind stuff. It can stop Calm Mind users. It can stop any kind of like setup options. So that's not bad. That's definitely not bad. It'll definitely appreciate that. So it can help against like opposing like Calm Mind setters and just be able to stop them from doing anything, and then still be able to get momentum. And it still has phasing too and Roar as well. So it kept Roar and all that and all those things, I believe. Let me check real quick. I think it did keep Roar. Yep, it kept Roar. So it's a phaser that can Roar, get momentum, and has recovery. That's not bad. And it also kept knockoff as well, which is also a huge deal. But unfortunately, it did lose Scald and Toxic. Now, the Scald nerf does suck. It can't really status things anymore, which is actually a pretty significant deal, that it can't do that anymore. So the only way it can really status things is with Yawn, and outside of that though, yeah, so that definitely does suck a little bit. That was actually one of Empoleon's best defensive qualities in being able to burn things and also toxic things. So the fact it can't do that is a little disappointing, but I do think it'll still be okay. With the new utility options that it has, and again, Flip, Knock, and or not Flip, Knock, but Flip, Haze, and Roost. So I think those are the bigger ones that do factor in for Empo. Another thing to mention is that Empoleon did keep Wave Crash it did keep Wave Crash from oh yep, there it is. So that's what Piplup has. So Piplup can also use this in Little Cup as well. So that's something to mention too. So now it has recovery there. I don't think it really matters too much for Piplup though, because I mean Piplup isn't really that strong, but it's nice to have. Let's see. So yeah, Empoleon got Wave Crash from Legends. So that I think it's kind of funny. I was literally just saying that this Mon needs, like, if it wants to take advantage of Defiant, then it needs like better physical water coverage, and it literally got it the moment they changed it. So now it has Wave Crash, which is actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun. You could run that on a Swords Dance set, and it could actually do something. Now, do you want to? You can. Like, its attack isn't bad. 86 is not bad at all. If you want to go physically oriented with it, you definitely, most certainly can. And it's not a bad idea. No one's going to hate you for it. No one's going to really, like, say, oh, that's some shit. Why would you run Swords Dance on it? You can actually take advantage of that. And another thing to mention is that, with Empo being a Water Steel type, it has always been a really good water resist. So, something to mention with that, especially in OU, when you got to deal with, ice types like Bax, also Azu, but not really Azu. Azu still kind of like messes you up, especially if it's running superpower. That's another one. It is a poison immunity as well, so there's that to mention too. But it won't be after you Terra, so factor that in. And then what was another thing to mention? It's a resist to something else. Well, Fairy, but also Walking Wake. It hard walls Walking Wake, so that's another thing to mention as well about Empoleon. But besides that, yeah, I think a Swords Dance set could work if you want to run it physically oriented. But otherwise, you're probably gonna be running Empo as a defensive utility mon. So again, Knock, Rocks, Surf, or Flip Turn, and then like Roost or whatever. So I think that's gonna be Empo's like main niche. You actually could run Wave Crash on the defensive set if you really want to, but again, you want competitive, so you want to go Surf still, or even Hydro Pump. Or even like nah. I was gonna say Chilling Water, but like it doesn't do anything. So I'd rather go Surf or something like that. But yeah, Empo got the biggest buff out of all of them, and that's very good. Definitely something that Empo's been wanting for a long time. All right, Kricitune. So Kricitune got Lunge and Knockoff. All right, let's move on. Vespiquen keeps Toxic, gets Lunge and Dueling Beat. That's whatever. It already had Toxic anyway, so that's cool. And Lunge and Dueling Beat or whatever. Floatzel got Flip Turn. So for Rain, Floatzel loves that. Floatzel absolutely loves that. So this one has momentum now, and that is something that is very important to mention. This mon now getting momentum with Flip Turn means that it can just endlessly Flip Turn out and then be able to put things in the Wave Crash range. So this mon is not staying NU, that's a fact. That mon is definitely not staying NU. That mon is getting quick ban, not quick ban, but it definitely will get banned. I don't see Floatzel staying long in NU when, for one, they don't really, there's not a whole lot of water resist there anyway to just factor that in. I mean, sure, you could kind of say Goodra, which I will be talking about later, but not really, not really. Quillfish, yeah, not really, not really. Yeah, Floatzel is kind of a monster, man. Definitely a monster, and I do think that Flip Turn is the thing that will really push this mon out of NU, and I do think that we'll be seeing this mon quite a bit in OU now. Now that it has Flip Turn. And also, and probably even in UU as well on like Makeshift Rain. So yeah, Floatzel's doing really good. Not only did Floatzel get this back, but that also means like stuff like Barraskewda got it back as well. And yeah, but Floatzel loves this. This mon is gonna be going crazy on the ladder now. All right, next, Gastrodon. Gastrodon lost Skull. That is unfortunate. That is super unfortunate that this mon lost Scald. Hopefully it gets Scorching Sands back. I think it got it in Gen. I think it got it last gen. Let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure I got it last gen. Actually, another one I want to check. This is no. Let me check the first one. Let me check Gastrodon first. I think it got Scorching Sands last gen. Oh, it didn't get it. Wait, hold on. Let me check down here. No, it didn't get it last gen. No Scorching Sands. So, this mon losing Scald, and also it doesn't have Toxic anymore, is pretty damn disappointing. So, Gastrodon for the longest time has been a defensive mon that can always cover its checks with Scald burns. But now it can't do that anymore. So it's pretty much relegated to being a water absorber that gets a boost from the water move, but it doesn't have any kind of utility to really back it up anymore. So it can't burn things, it can't Toxic things. It can only go for hazards now. And I guess Mirror Coat things and all those things like that, but like that's very niche. But literally it's just a defensive wall now. That's very passive, so it can easily be taken advantage of now. Which is very disappointing to say the least. So it can't cover its checks like it used to in the past, and just kind of gets walled by everything that it used to check with Scald. So yeah, definitely unfortunate for Gastrodon. Hopefully it does get Scorching Sands, but I don't see that happening. And I do think Gastrodon will probably be more of probably stay like what it has been since. Because I mean, technically it's going back to its Gen 4 roots, where like the only thing you could really do with Gastrodon, especially thinking about Gen 4, is that the mon used to run curse sets. So I could see something like that happening now with Gastrodon, but yeah, like I said, it really missed Scald, and that's the really big nerf there. So very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And again, it's pretty much following the same pathway as Quagsire too. So, but obviously Quagsire is better because it has Toxic now. But losing Scald still sucks. But Gastrodon not having either or not having either of them is very disappointing. So yeah. Drfiblim got Knockoff back and also Weather Ball back. So that's cool utility. Drfiblim loves things like that. I think it'll appreciate it in the lower tiers. And Weather Ball could be cool on some makeshift rain, which actually rain is pretty popular right now in NU. And yeah, so it'll definitely take advantage of that. Skunktank got knockoff. That is, ooh, that's a big deal. That is a very big deal. Do you want to know why that's a big deal? It's a big deal because this mon has utility again, or more utility. You see, it used to have Pursuit. It used to have Pursuit, and Pursuit was a way for it to cover for the ghost types in the lower tiers. So it covered for things like Haunter, cover for things like Mischievous, Bayonet, Rotom, especially Rotom. Especially Rotom. But yeah, now that it doesn't have Pursuit anymore, really the mon has kind of been relegated to being more of an offensive dark type with, like not like Crunch and Sucker Punch, and even on Nasty Plot tests with like Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, and like Flamethrower and Sludge Bomb, or like a random coverage move. Talking like earlier gens with that, but yeah, in Gen 8 it did get Corrosive Gas, which was a way of hazard removal. But now it has knockoff, so now it can actually use its stab and remove items, which is a very big deal because again, Skunktank's main way of physical stab came from Crunch and Sucker Punch, and they're both weak. So now it has knockoff, which is a much stronger variant of the two, and it can still run Sucker Punch as well, obviously. But yeah, knockoff is just great on this mon. So this mon is going to appreciate this move a lot, definitely a lot. So I do think right now it's in PU, and let's look at the PU tier real quick. How many mons get knocked off? Everybody getting hit with the knock. The knock of justice. Oh my, bro. This mon is going to be very unfair to a lot of players. I honestly, I don't know if Skunktank will stay. I mean, defensively, Poison and Dark is like, it's a good Psychic immunity and a good Ghost Resist. So I think those are two things that do matter. And apparently Mischievous, from what I was looking at, because I was actually like just looking through PU, like on the damn, I forgot what it's called, but it's like Mischievous is actually pretty high up on ladder, or high up on the rankings. High up on the rankings. So this mon is used quite a bit down here. But also you have to mention that PU has a whole lot of Pokemon that just get knocked off in general. So I do think that Skunktank might not stay. Because again, knockoff is just way too good. It is very, very good. So definitely appreciates that. I don't think it got anything else besides knockoff. Yeah, I don't think it got anything else besides knockoff. Burning Jealousy, but that's whatever. It already has better fire coverage and Flamethrower and Fire Blast. So like it don't matter. It really don't matter. But yeah, cool. Alright, next is going to be Bronzong. It lost Toxic. That's a tough one, man. That one's pretty tough. So Bronzong doesn't have a way of setting down status besides going for Hypnosis. But like it didn't really miss it like that. Like last gen, I mean it was good though. Don't get me wrong, it was still good, right? It was good because it was able to still, it was able to at least like Toxic Salt things out and still be able to cover for its checks with Toxic. Now that it lost that, it has to rely on the our defense body pressing set, or yeah, pretty much just that. I was gonna say there were other things it could do, but really it just runs that set. But yeah, it definitely sucks. It lost Toxic. Will be missed. Now Spiritomb on the other hand, Spiritomb randomly keeps Toxic, and they also gave it Poltergeist back. So in PU, Ithamon's gonna appreciate that. Well, PU and NU, I think it'll appreciate that it keeps that it gets to use Poltergeist again. So this is gonna hurt everybody, and it's gonna do quite a bit of damage to a lot of things here. Now in NU, since another mon got Poltergeist back, again I'm gonna spoil it for you. Decidueye got Poltergeist back. I do think that we're gonna be seeing a lot of different teams running no items again, which was actually pretty common last gen. So we might see something like that happen again here. But like Spiritomb wasn't a mon that really stuck out in NU like that. It does apparently it does here though. It does in this generation with Terra. so it can get around its checks now. So again, specifically Fairy, which was the one thing it actually lost to. But now it can get around that and be able to, just Terra and just do whatever it wants at that point. But yeah, definitely can appreciate that. But Toxic is cool that it kept that, so that means it can still cover for its checks still. With Toxic plus Wisp. But yeah, and also again, like Poltergeist being back is great. So this mon has like a stronger physical Ghost Stab again, and it'll definitely 100% appreciate having that again. So yeah. Oh, my bad. That's Reddit. But yeah, Garchomp got Scale Shot back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That Garchomp is back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, Garchomp's back. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Alright, so Garchomp has speed again. That's great. So Garchomp was on the range, or was on the pretty much on the watch of falling out of OU and CUU. Which is sad to say, honestly, but it prevails. It still prevails. Now Garchomp can actually run loaded dice with Scale Shot, and I think that's a very big deal, because when you got +2 on that shit and you got Scale Shot going, you're unbeatable almost. You beat Zapdos, and that's one of the things that Garchomp really needed. It needed another way to beat Zapdos, and now it has it right there in your face. So Scale Shot is very good on that mon, and it'll definitely appreciate it. And yeah, so +2 Scale Shot just kind of bops things. And again, the speed boost is really what's going to come in handy for Garchomp. Now, obviously, the mon can get picked off pretty easily by priority options. Again, Ice Shard from, I'm going to say Weavile, because I don't think Bax is staying. The reason why is because this mon also got Scale Shot back, or also got Scale Shot added into its move list, or into its move pool. And that is a big deal, because this mon can just do this in snow and not have to worry about really anything. Because, I mean, for one, it gets a default defense boost in snow, but also, this mon hits very damn hard. 145 attack, and you get Scale Shot. Get the fuck out of here, man. Anyways, SD is, like, really good on this. SD Scale Shot with loaded dice is very good on snow at the moment. And again, I don't see this lasting very long right now. But yeah, going back to Garchomp, however, this is something that also kept it afloat in Gen 8. So, because in Gen 8, Garchomp was also on the range of falling out of favor as well. But again, once it got Scale Shot back, the mon just managed to stick around a little bit longer, and it has been since. But yeah, so definitely loves having some form of speed boosting now. So yeah, that is going to be Garchomp doing its thing, and I definitely do see this mon being used on, again, like more hyper offensive teams, and just like bulky, and just like, I would say maybe bulky offense still too. But I think the Scale Shot set is gonna be better on more hyper offense and more like just like more straightforward offensive teams. So Garchomp's gonna be very good on teams like that. Obviously you can still run the tank set still. You can still run the tank set. You could run it with Scale Shot too if you really want to go that route, but like I think that's a little weird. But tank is still really good with hazards and whatnot. So now Garchomp still has its two niches. There still has like both of his niches. But yeah, Hippowdon got high horsepower. That's whatever. Good for like, I think this is better for VGC, honestly. So now Hippowdon doesn't have to rely on going for Earthquake on things. And also, if it's in grassy terrain with Rillaboom, then it has a way of, covering for things without having to do like very little damage with Earthquake. So that's cool. Croak got knockoff back. Nice. It loved that. It loved that back in Gen 7, Gen 8, and well, it always loved it, but definitely like, well, Gen 6 really it loved it then, because that's when it actually got it and took advantage of it. But yeah, knockoff and Sucker Punch are very good. Oh wait, hold on, I'm tripping. I bet I'm tripping. I'm tripping. What was I just looking at? Oh yeah, well, knockoff and Sucker Punch are good on the going to end you on like the more offensive Toxicroak sets. But yeah, it definitely loves knockoff again. So you'll see that on Scarfs, you'll see that on SD, and occasionally Band. But like, are you really gonna be running Band Croak? Like, Band isn't terrible, right? But Croak has universally been known to run like Scarf more often than Band, and also like Life Orb SD, or even like Nasty Plot sets too. But yeah, knockoff is good utility still, and it always has been. So it'll definitely appreciate having that move back. And yeah. So that covers Toxicroak. My bad, I'm sorry. Alright, Lumineon got flip turn back. That's cool. It lost Scald though, which is unfortunate to say the least. Lumineon cannot do anything besides flip turn on things. So, yeah, it's unfortunately the mon is still pretty bad, but got flip turn now, so it can be less bad. So there you go. There you go. Honestly, this mon just needs QD to actually be good. Like, at least passable. 69, 69, 69 is funny as shit. but yeah, like Lumineon needs at least QD to be at least passable to do something. But even then, like, I don't know. This mon's just bad. Anyways, that's Lumineon. Alright, next we have Weavile. Weavile became a mon again. So it has knockoff again. It got knockoff back. It doesn't have triple axle, but there's a chance it may get it in DLC 2. But it did get Icicle Spear back though. Or it has Icicle Spear now. Because I don't think it had it last gen. Let me check Gen 8 real quick. I don't think it had it last gen. Icicle Spear? Oh, you do have it last gen. Okay, never mind. Now you can actually take advantage of it though because of you can take advantage of it now because of loaded dice. So you can run like loaded dice with SD and be able to get all your 5 hits off. Or I guess 4 hits off. Depending on how lucky you are. But yeah, definitely appreciates that. SD triple, or SD Icicle Spear is nice. So, loves that. But knockoff is really the thing that this mon needed back because that was what Weavile was. That was Weavile's identity. Chimpao stole it. Chimpao stole it. I mean, obviously, you know, it didn't have knockoff, but still, it stole it. So, I bet. Yeah, Weavile can now knock off again, run banded sets with it again, or again Sword Dance. So again, SD knockoff, Icicle Spear and Crash, or SD knockoff, Crash and like low kick or Ice Shard. So yeah, Weavile's back in full force, and that's what we love to see. Same with Sneasel. So Sneasel will probably get some usage in PU, maybe even in NU. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, Weavile's back and it's a mon again. We'd love to see that. It'll fully be a mon once it gets triple axle back. But for right now, it's still a mon. It's a mon that's usable, especially once Bax is gone. Once Bax is gone, then Weavile's like going right back up because this is the premier ice type that everyone loves. Everyone loves Weavile. No matter how much you don't like it, you know you love it. Alright, it's like McDonald's. Alright, so anyways, Leafeon got knockoff back. That's cool on SD sets and utility sets. Love to see that back on it. Gliscor is the big one. Gliscor keeps knockoff. You know what I mean? It was a part of its move pool anyway, so it always learned it naturally. So that move was always a level up move. It kept toxic. Oh boy, it kept toxic. It has high horsepower, which it got from Legends. It has dual wing beat, so you can run an SD set with dual wing beat, or even like SD Acro after you've been knocked off. You got Crab Hammer, which is very odd, but okay. And now they gave this shit spikes and T-spikes. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. They made this mon better than Garchomp and Lando. And even Great Tusk already. Just by that. Literally just by that. Those two options being right there. Spikes and T-spikes. Oh, they're just breaking mons for no reason, man. Like, this is insane. Now, obviously, the best part is that it doesn't have Roost. That's the best part. No Roost on Gliscor, which is fair. Now, if they do give it Roost back in DLC 2, if Roost is actually like a TM, then Gliscor is going to be ridiculous. It already is ridiculous now that it still has Toxic, but yeah, this mon getting spikes and T-spikes is like borderline insane. So now this mon is going to be just hazard stacking on things and is really going to be annoying. And obviously, you know, it still has its same toolkit that it's always ran for the last couple generations. Really starting from Gen 5 where this mon really picked up. Because I mean Gen 4 it didn't get Poison Heal. It only had Hypercutter and like Sandville. Sandville was banned, but Hypercutter was pretty much like Gliscor's default ability. But yeah, um, yeah, pretty much with Poison Heal, it gives this mon a way of just having setup, but also getting continuous recovery. So it was really yeah. Pretty much you could run stuff like Sub Protect, just make sure this mon stays around and just be annoying the whole game. You could also run like taunts, like a taunt stall breaking sets. So you'd run like SD with taunt to stop mons from setting up or even getting momentum. You could also run again just more like fully offensive sets with SD facade or SD facade and EQ. Even like this set right here that I have right in front of me, you can run like a more max speed F one, so you don't die to most special hits, and you just keep setting up with this thing, and you just go from there. The funny thing is that it can even live like non-stab ice beams as well. With the Spadef set, so like this mon is cracked, man. Gliscor is a very cracked mon, and the fact it's back in full force is not too good. But yeah, you can run like U-turn, knockoff, or more if you want a more utility set. You could run like U-turn, knockoff, quake, and then rocks. You could also go something like spike. You could also put spikes on that now over rocks. Better yet, you could even like drop knockoff and go like rocks, spikes, U-turn, and quake if you really want to go that route. Great. I don't think it's that great, but like you have that option. But yeah, Gliscor is gonna be stupid as shit again. It didn't get anything else crazy. Besides again, we got gunk shot. What the fuck? That's random. Got lunge, but who cares about that? Yeah. Got tailwind. I don't think I had tailwind before, but that's interesting. And besides that, we got scale shot. That's whatever. That's whatever. I don't think you want to use scale shot on a mon like this. You definitely can try to though. You could try, but like I don't think you really need it like that. But yeah, utility appreciates still keeping toxic. So like you could actually run sub toxic again. Oh god, that shit was annoying as hell too. I kind of remember like what it did. Let me see, because again, and I know it ran toxic on some utility sets. Yeah, you can run this, but obviously there's no roost, so you probably have to run like U-turn over this if you really want to go that route. So you can run something like that. Again, you can still run something like this, but you'd have to drop roost for protect. And going back to even like the black and white days where this mon was like, it was there, but it wasn't really there, but it was still there. It was there in spirit. Nah, the mon's always been there for real. But yeah, you can run this set literally. You could again, knockoff might be better actually now, because again, you want to get rid of hazards or you want to get rid of boots. Yeah, again, taunt over rocks if you want to run a stall breaking set, and just be able to do whatever you want at that point. In black and white, or not black and white, in Gen 6, really Gen 7 was where it really kind of like solidifies itself as being like that guy. But yeah, like you can run something like this with Ice Fang to cover for like Garchomp and like opposing Lando, or even opposing Gliscors as well. But yeah, but really the taunt breaking set, or the stall breaking set was really solidified Gliscor back in Gen 7, and even like partly Gen 6 too. But yeah, like this set was disgusting. This set lives Ice Beam from Latias. Mega Latias, by the way. It can live that. And even like I think even from Clef, it can live Ice Beam too. But yeah, again, this mon's stupid as shit. And the fact it's back in full force is just, yeah. Again, all it missed was Defog and Roost. So yeah, if it ever gets those moves back, then I definitely see Gliscor as being the number one like ground type, because Lando is not winning right now. Lando is like down by like Lando's actually like down 4 right now. It's actually down 4. Mamo's back. Mamo got high horsepower. It got high horsepower back. It got knockoff back. It has Trailblaze now, and it has Roar now. Now going to this is all the way at the top of Gen 4. Let me go down to Yeah, Weasel didn't get anything new. Besides Flip Turn. Shellos. Yeah, again, Shellos doesn't have anything new. I already mentioned Gastrodon. um. Oh wait, did it always have defog? I think it always had defog. It always had defog. I don't know why I thought Drfiblim had something different. My bad. Miss Mag didn't get anything new. Got Poltergeist and Burning Jealousy back, whatever. And Honchkrow, I don't think Honchkrow had anything new either. Got Dueling Beat. I guess that's fine. The Chingling line has knockoff now, so that's cool. Free utility. Nothing else really stood out to me. But yeah. Stunky. So yeah, not only does Skunktank get knockoff back, but also Stunky does as well. So this mon's gonna appreciate that in the lower tiers. Now going down to Peony. Anything different? Gibble already talked about. Well, all of them have Scale Shot now. So and they all have Scale Shot now. So I think actually in PU, Gablite might be pretty good down there now. I think it already is good, but now with Scale Shot, this mon is like probably cracked. That mon probably cracked right now. Let's see. Card didn't get anything new. Hippowdon didn't get anything new. Krogonk. Finneon. Again, the mon I'm looking for is Mamoswine. So let's see. Bombasnow. Weavile, Magnezone, Yanmega, Leafeon, Glaceon, Gliscor. There's Mamoswine. Okay, so Mamoswine, for its learn set, it also got Spear back too. Yeah, actually, I probably should have went to Swine Up to see if it got any egg moves. But I think the only egg move it got back was Freeze Dry. That actually matters. So yeah. Wait, no, I'm wrong. No, we got it. It got it back. But like, that's a very niche option. It's super niche. Yeah, Trailblaze I think is the one that stands out the most to me. Now this one has like a way of boosting its speed, and I do think that is pretty significant because outside of boosting speed with Mamoswine, you only had like Scarf sets in the past. Now you don't have to run that. So Mamo with Trailblaze, that might be something to look out for. That actually doesn't seem too bad. Now it doesn't have a way of setup still. Like it still has to rely on Curse. It still has to rely on Curse. But yeah. Pretty much its way of getting speed now is in Trailblaze, so you can take advantage of that. They didn't get anything else to boost its speed, so you can just rely on that at the moment. But yeah, besides that, Mammal didn't really change too much. I kind of wish I got an Ice Spinner. That way it wouldn't have to still rely on Crash. But no Ice Spinner still. So still gonna have to rely on Crash and EQ. I mean, Mammal I think is still gonna do really well in UU. I don't know if it'll do well in OU, to be honest. Because I mean, there's just better Ice types right now. I mean, again, Bax is the #1 Ice type at the moment. But when Bax goes and eventually gets banned, then the Ice type that would remain would be Weavile. So maybe Mamo could see some usage, but I don't really see it too much, especially when it has to compete with another fellow ground and Ice type mon. Even though it's not really a ground and Ice type, I'm talking Great Test with Ice Spinner and EQ. It has to compete with that, which is a mon that already has bulk up. So don't think Mamo's gonna really stick around here, but I do think it'll be really good in UU with Trailblaze. And again, knockoff is still always going to be great utility for it. So again, choice band with knockoff is still really good. I think if you do run Trailblaze on Mamo, you want to run it with Life Orb. So you definitely want to run like a Life Orb set with it. Adamant would be pretty good on it too. So when you run Adamant with the speed boost, from here, it would give it it would basically give it the same speed tier as Dragonite, going 388 after +1. Adamant Dragonite, by the way, going 388 after +1. If you go Jolly with it, you go 426, which means you speed tie with opposing Choice Scarf users. And yeah, I do think that Mamo is going to do very well with a Life Orb set. Now, unfortunately, I don't think it got Superpower back, which is something that it kind of needed to cover for like stuff like Corviknight and such. So when it comes to that, it'll have to run a Terra, so probably like Terra Electric or Terra Fire to get through its checks. But outside that though, I think Mammo's gonna do really well in the lower tiers. Once it eventually gets fighting coverage back, Mammo's gonna be pretty good at what it does. But yeah, it covers Mamoswine. All right, Froslass. So Froslass got Poltergeist back. It has Ice Cold Spear, and it still has Crash as well. Which I mean, it always has. It's always been had. But now we're just waiting for Triple Axe when it comes back. So Poltergeist on Froslass. That was actually something I ran a lot back in NU. I used to love that set, especially with Trick. So you could just have it as a way of getting momentum with Trick, and also be able to do a ton of damage with Poltergeist. I mean, its attack set isn't terrible, right? It's base 80, but Poltergeist makes it hit even harder with that stab. So it's not bad. Definitely not bad. And again, with Trick, you get momentum still with said move. And also you could even still spam Poltergeist as well on said move on said mon that's getting tricked, because they have an item. And you can just still spam it. So it's still really good. It's still going to be really good with that. I definitely think that NU is still gonna do very well as a Poltergeist user, and again, just as well as with also another thing to mention with Froslass is that, like, when it comes to Poltergeist answers, they're only a handful. I mean, both Quillfish forms can actually take it on pretty well. Tauros is immune to it, obviously, and Umbreon just shits on it. So there are answers. There definitely are answers. But again, you gotta if you get Hazards down on said answers, then it can still be a decent enough damage. It can still do decent enough damage with Polt. But again, like I said, I do think the mon's gonna do fairly well still. Now that it has like a physical ghost option again. So yeah, Choice Band Froslass is gonna be really fun. Alright, so Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, they both got knockoff back. Or all three of them got knockoff back. I don't think they got anything new either, though. Let me check over here if they got anything new. Yeah, nothing new here. Alright, Rotom didn't get anything. Let's see. Uxie. Yeah, Uxie for this DLC. Expanding Force. Fuck. It's random. It didn't get anything. Really. Yeah, Uxie didn't get anything. So that's all the same moves it had before. And then Mesprit's probably the same as well. Yeah, Mesprit didn't get anything crazy. So it just has knockoff back. And Azelf is probably the same as well. Getting still knockoff back. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they all have their signature stuff back, and they can still take advantage of it. Now obviously, the defensive ones, Uxie and Mesprit, kind of miss Toxic, but they still have T-Wave, so still fine. Dialga gets Roar back, but loses Toxic. That's unfortunate for Ubers. But like Dialga, it's always been a good defensive mon in Ubers. At least like in the earlier generations. Dialga nowadays is like, I don't know. It's kind of just there. It's kind of just there now. I remember that there was a point where it was just like, it really just didn't do a whole lot. And now with the new ability, with the new thing it got, its thing that it has, I really don't know what to call it. But with that new thing it has, I forgot the Adamant Orb, the Adamant Crystal, or whatever. With the Adamant Crystal, with it becoming the Dialga Origin, it's not even that much stronger compared to the original one. Like, it's only like better in Spadef, but like, who cares about that? Anyways, Dialga having Roar is cool for like phasing stuff and on more defensive sets. But like, again, like I said, Dialga doesn't really do a whole lot. It's still kind of just the same. And I mean, even this set right here is like, this is a sample set, so like it doesn't really show what Dialga actually does. It's just giving you something to make you see what it can do. But yeah, like, I think going to Sword and Shield, Dialga didn't really do anything there. Again, like there were other mons that were kind of overshadowing it, like uh, what's that mon called? Necrozma. That's pretty much like better. That's pretty much better Dialga. But yeah, like it didn't really do a whole lot. Uh, which is unfortunate to say the least about Dialga. But yeah, again, this mon pretty much had like its main niches in DPP. I think even in Black and White. But again, I can't speak for Black and White. That will not even for DPP, but like I can only say from what I've seen for DPP. Um, Shout out BKC for that. But but yeah. Rory's back. Rory being back is nice though. Toxic sucks. Scald. Palkia never had Scald. It never had Scald. It did get Scale Shot back though. So now Palkia can run its signature bulk up set. So it can run the bulk up set again with Scale Shot. So that's pretty cool on this variant. I don't know how the origin form does though with Scale Shot. Actually, speaking of Scale Shot, Dialga should have gotten that back though, right? Yes, it did. It did get Scale Shot. So if you want to run Dialga like on a more like offensive set with like Life Orb, Scale Shot for speed boosting, you definitely can. And it'll probably do fairly well with that. But again, like you're kind of relying on. I mean, you don't have anything that's really consistent, to say the least. So it's just kind of there, really. But it's still cool. All right. And again, Palkia ran this set back in Gen 7 or back in Gen 8. It ran a bulk up set. So it ran a bulk up set back in Gen 8, where it would run like bulk up, liquidation, and then Scale Shot. So it would run something like this, and this was a way to cover for stuff like Necrozma, but also cover for things like Lunala, and also cover for Eternatus as well, and just other things too. But yeah, it was just a good way to cover for to just like beat some of his checks. Again, Necrozma being one of them. Even though Necrozma doesn't really check it, but again, you just bulk up against it and you just like smash it. So that's what this mon did. And again, the Scale Shot was also appreciated too, because of the speed boost that it got. But yeah, that pretty much covers Palkia. Again, it didn't get Skull, but it still has Scale Shot, and that's what matters. Now, I do remember fighting a one guy on ladder that had Focus Punch on his. And Focus Punch was actually pretty good, since that also give him a way to hit. What did it hit back in Gen 8? It hit something. I don't think it was just Necrozma. It hit something else with Focus Punch. But it was good for that. So it had that niche going for it there too. But yeah, pretty much running water and fighting coverage. But Scale Shot's still better for the speed boosting aspect of it. But yeah, anyways, Heatran lost Toxic. That is a big nerf. Hella big nerf. Heatran can't do what it's always done in the past, which is to toxic its checks and burn physical threats. So the fact it can't toxic, checks like waters or electrics or opposing grounds is pretty damn sad. So yeah, Heatran is not looking too good. Again, similar to Gastrodon, the mon is just kind of falling out of favor right now. Defensively, only Heatran can do at the moment is run Terra Grass, so it doesn't die to Earthquake from things. And it still covers for stuff like, what's that mon called? So it covers for things with like the taunt set. So like the taunt set still does things. But yeah, it still misses Toxic. Toxic was really good. Now that's relying on burning things, which, I mean, it's not like it really missed that. But yeah, I think like just wisp sets are gonna be those sets that are gonna be like kind of the more common thing now in Heatran. At least you didn't lose that, right? But I mean, how could it lose that? That should be like guaranteed anyway. But yeah, there goes Heatran. All right, next is Giratina. Giratina lost Toxic, but it got Poltergeist back, which is very, very cool. Now, from my own personal experience using Giratina last gen, I love that mon. That mon was very fun to use on some of the teams I built with it. Now, I remember running a mixed Giratina set. Now, mixed Giratina was pretty fun for me because it gave me a way to hit Necrozma. It also gave me a way to hit what was another mon to hit? It was something else that hit it neutrally. Well, Poltergeist hits everything neutrally, which was the reason why I wanted it in the first place, or I wanted to use it in the first place. But also, it was just strong. Like, it's strong on this set on Giratina. Like, again, that's off base 120 attack. Like that shit is very strong. So it was one of the strongest Poltergeist users back in Gen 8. And now that it's back, I'm very happy. So again, you can run a mix with it with Draco. So Draco was a way to cover for, of course, like everything. So you had it for that. Yeah, Thunder. I ran Thunder on the set too to cover for Kyogre and all that. I think I remember. I think I remember like switching it around and running Wisp too, just to catch defensive switch-ins. Um, but yeah, but Draco Thunder and Sneak was very fun to run. Thunder covered for Kyogre stuff, and again, Sneak was there to cover for Cali when Cali was still around. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm very happy that Giratina is back in full force. Cress does not have Toxic, so that is unfortunate. It has to rely on running the Calm Mindset that it's running now with Store Power, so it's not like it really misses that. It's not like it really misses Toxic, but it still was a nice way to just wear down things and make it set up a little bit easier. Now it has to do that with Terra, so it sucks. Definitely sucks to lost Toxic, but again, it's not like it's really behind or anything like that. Manaphy got Scald back, and it also now has Flip Turn. Knockoff, I think it got it back. I don't think it had Knockoff before. Let me check real quick. I think this might be the first gen it gets Knockoff. Check Manaphy real quick. Because I don't think it had Knockoff before. No, yeah, it had Knockoff before, so it just got it back. So it got Knockoff back. Got Tail Glow back too, which is another thing to mention. So Manaphy getting Tail Glow back is amazing. This Mon can do what it's always done best, which is set up on things and just be annoying and just break through teams. Again, Tail Glow goes +3, and nothing really takes a Surf at +3 unless you're running like an Unaware Mon, which you probably aren't. Or you're running an Water Absorb Mon, which you probably aren't, because the Water Absorb Mon gets messed up by Energy Ball or by any other like coverage option that Manaphy would have. But yeah, Tail Glow with Surf is pretty damn strong, and definitely appreciates that, and especially because it has Scald now. It kept Scald, so with it keeping Scald, this Mon can just break through everything, and it can do it very well once it lands a burn. So yeah, Manaphy's doing very well in that regard. Flip turns, whatever. I guess you could run that on like really you don't really want to run Manaphy without Tail Glow, to be honest. I guess it could be good for Draft League for utility things, but outside of that though, I think you really want to just keep going Tail Glow, or I think you really want to just run Tail Glow with it, because wasting your move to run utility just doesn't seem worth it in my opinion. But yeah, that covers Manaphy. All right. Next we have Darkrai. Darkrai is some shit now. It lost Dark Void is at 50% now, so that Mon has a 50% chance to land a move, and yeah, Darkrai not looking too good, man. Darkrai not looking too good with Dark Void. But again, it's all Smeargle's fault. That's why this move doesn't work anymore. If you want to sleep things, just run Hypnosis. Besides that, it didn't really get anything crazy back. It pretty much already had all these things beforehand. But yeah. So, Darkrai. A lot of people were actually wanting Darkrai to drop into OU. This Mon should never be OU, like ever. This shit just seems too stupid. Like, yeah, I mean that base 135 attack and that 125 attack does look very like promising in OU, but honestly, keep this shit away from OU, man. This shit should never be OU, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, this Mon should never be OU, but that's just what I think about Darkrai. It got Wisp, which is cool. Not like it really matters, but like it's cool utility. So if you're running, I guess it could work in Ubers maybe, but like I don't see why you would need Wisp in Ubers on Darkrai. I mean, offensively, Darkrai looks like it's still okay. It's not like it really like dropped out of favor or anything like that, or it could drop out of favor or anything like that. Like it still seems strong enough, so it'll probably do fine. It'll probably do fine here, especially when you factor in Terra too. But definitely there is a Mon that hard walls it. It's called Eternatus and Magearna together. Those two definitely wall the fuck out of that Mon. Back and forth. Another thing to mention, I know this is unrelated, but Magearna got Heart Swap back, I think. It might have gotten Heart Swap back. No, it didn't. Never mind. My bad. Okay, I'm tripping. Because, like, that was something that Manaphy just got back. I thought maybe it would get it back as well. But it looks like it didn't get Heart Swap back either. So, I guess that's a good thing. Because Heart Swap was something that really, really broke Magearna. Like, it was one of the ways it actually beat stuff like Xerneas back in Gen 8. I think even wait, hold on. Am I tripping? But Magearna was Gen 7, right? I think it was Gen 7. I might be tripping though. Hold on, let me check real quick. Yeah, my bad, my bad. Hold on, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, it did do that in Ubers. It heart swapped. It heart swapped against Xerneas and then just took its boost away. So now it can't do that anymore, which is sad to say the least. But yeah, that is gonna cover for Darkrai and Magearna, I guess. Arceus got Roar back, but it lost Toxic. That sucks. Oh, that sucks, man. That was something that that Arceus loved on defensive sets. So now that it can't do that anymore, its way of really getting through defensive stuff comes from setup now. So Arceus is pretty much reliant on running Calm Mind sets instead of running Toxic to get through some of its checks. So Arceus loved Toxic back in the day. Again, specifically from my perspective of me playing Ubers from Gen 7 and 8 and 9. I'm gonna play 9. I'm gonna play Ubers in 9. I'm just saying this now, but anyways, Arceus's way of really getting residual damage was through Toxic on defensive sets. You would run like Ice Beam, Toxic, Defog, and then Recover. You would run that on defensive Terras, or on defensive Arceus like Arceus Fairy, Arceus Ground, I believe, and Arceus Water. So it ran Toxic on those forms. Now that it can't do that anymore, and I'm guessing it also didn't get Scald. Nope, it did not get Scald. So this one does not have a way of getting passive damage outside of just Calm Mind. So that's what Arceus does now. It just has to set up and just do what it can. I guess taunt breaking sets can probably get through. It did keep Wisp. So I guess that's nice. I think it always had a Wisp though. I'm pretty sure it always had a Wisp. Did it? Let me check real quick. This is out of curiosity. I think it always had a Wisp. Let me go to Ubers. Arceus. This is Gen. Did I put this in Gen 9? No, why did I put it in Gen 9? I meant to put this in well, I don't see Gen 7 Ubers. There we go. Gen 7 Ubers. I think it always had Wisp. Yeah, it always had Wisp. So just no Toxic anymore, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think it lost Refresh too. So that's also another nerf to it. But I think that's kind of unrelated. Let me just check real quick if it still has it though. But I think it doesn't have it anymore. Yeah, no Refresh. So yeah, no way of removing status from itself. So pretty much the only way of status comes from Wisp now, which is a little disappointing. But it definitely misses Toxic. So yeah, that's gonna really suck for it. How much time have I wasted? I've probably been over an hour. Oh my god. And that's only from talking from Gen 4. I love this generation too much, man. I'm sorry. Alright, fuck. Damn. Okay, what I want to do. I don't want to redo this video. Unless I just really cut down everything. Damn. What do I want to do? I'll figure this out. I think what I'm going to do for now... for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end this part right here. I know it's crazy. I really talked about Gen 4 for so long, and I just could not stop talking about Gen 4. But yes, I love this generation. I'm sorry. Get over it. But yeah, I'm just going to end this part right here. In the next part, I'll just continue talking about the other generations. I apologize for that. I am so sorry. But hope you all enjoyed this this rant, but also just me talking about the moves coming back and whatnot. If y'all did enjoy the video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Join my Discord, the Bushido Gang, and follow me on Instagram and Reddit. All my links will be down in the description. Be safe, wash your hands, and have